Former U.S. President Donald Trump's key advisors have presented him with a plan to end Russia's war in Ukraine if he wins the presidential election scheduled to take place later this year. Now, according to retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, the strategy involves pressuring Ukraine to enter peace talks by threatening to withhold U.S. weapons and warning Russia of increased U.S. support for Ukraine if they refuse to negotiate. Fred Fleitz, another advisor to Trump, said, and I quote, "I'm not claiming that he, that is Trump, agreed with it or agreed with every word of it, but we were pleased to get the feedback we did." Some experts have expressed concerns that the plan by Trump advisors could give Moscow the upper hand in talks. Trump spokesperson Stephen Chuang said only statements made by Trump or the authorized members of his campaign should be deemed official. Trump has repeatedly stated that a top priority in his second term will be to quickly negotiate an end to the Russia-Ukraine war. Trump's spokesperson said, and I quote, "The war between Russia and Ukraine never would have happened if Donald J. Trump were president." So sad. On the other hand, Kremlin has said that any peace plan proposed by the possible future Trump administration would have to reflect the reality on the ground. It added that Russian President Vladimir Putin is open to negotiations. Russia invaded neighboring Ukraine in February 2022. Since then, tens of thousands have died on both sides, making this the bloodiest fighting in Europe since World War II. U.S. has spent more than $70 billion on military aid for Ukraine since Moscow's invasion. Biden has consistently pushed for more Ukraine aid, and his administration supports its eventual accession to NATO. Early in June, Biden and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky signed a 10-year bilateral security agreement. Putin said this month that the war could end if Ukraine agreed to drop its ambitions to join NATO and hand over 4 eastern and southern provinces claimed by Russia. And for more on this, we earlier spoke to Peter Kuznick, who's a professor of history and director of the Nuclear Studies Institute at the American University. And this is what he had to say.
Well, you have to remember that Trump is rather unpredictable. However, this plan does seem to be in line with a lot of things that Trump has said. Trump has criticized the war from the beginning and criticized the U.S. support for Ukraine. Trump also has been saying recently that Putin was provoked into doing this by NATO expansion up to Russia's doorstep and by the prospect of Ukraine joining NATO. So this plan that's been put forward is not that out of the box compared to what others have been calling for. Putin himself has been calling for something along these lines, although Putin's demands are a little more expansive. But there's also a recent plan put forth by Xi Jinping and by Lula from Brazil, a 10-point plan, which is along these lines: freeze the battlefield where it is, no Ukraine into NATO, and sit down and negotiate an enduring peace, which includes security guarantees for Ukraine. So could Trump do this? Yes, this is certainly within the realm of possibility for Donald Trump.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.